Well, it appears as though I messed up the stream. Still learning. Sorry about that. However, the stream has begun, I believe. Yes. Okay. All right. Looks like this match is about over anyway. Axis, the dogs, taking over the point here. Legrand. Apologies to everybody. I will be right back. And at the start of the next match, let's get a fresh start here. So I will return here in a moment. All right. Hello, everybody. I messed up the first stream, the first 30 minutes. This is my second time doing this, so I don't know what happened. I'll try to figure it out, and we should be in better shape next time around. What happened was I scheduled the stream started streaming on the scheduled event with a 30-minute delay, and I look over at my software and it's not streaming. But I know I clicked start stream. So I don't know. Apologies. I'll be here for a while though. Let's get some good action here on this Hill 400 match with offensive mode. We have the Blueberries being the Americans. So I will swap that on my screen in this nice offensive match. I don't know who voted for this, but I can guarantee that there are some people who really don't want to play this match right now. So we'll see. Maybe it'll be a quick one. Maybe it'll be a steamroll. Maybe not. So I should introduce myself. My name is Critic. I am a DAWG, and I am streaming tonight's DAWG Pile. The DAWG Pile, for those of you that don't know, is when all the dogs, the members of DAWG Division, are placed on the same team, whereas everybody else is either placed on the opposite team or mixed in with the dogs. We usually have about 2 or 3 events a week in the DAWG Division. One of our most popular events is the DAWG Pile. We tend to have 1 or 2 of those a week, as well as other events like a dog rally where we play other games. Sometimes we do shovel fights, sometimes we do knife fights, but tonight we have a nice DAWG Pile. So for tonight's match, we're just going to have some fun, get some good action. If you would like to join the DAWG Pile, you can become a member right now by joining our Discord with the link at the bottom right of your screen, discord.gg/the Division. You'll see a tab there for recruitment. Follow the instructions. Become a dog. Get placed on the dog team. Looking for our server, search for the DAWG Division. You can also sort by servers that are most full, and ours will likely be at the top because it is full right now. And you may end up being stuck in the queue for a bit. Now the queue is no fun. So if you would like to bypass the queue and get VIP, join our Discord, click on the channel for the VIP panel, and all of your questions will be answered. So with that, let's enjoy some action here. As Dustoff approaches Tundra, Dunny, Fentanyl, and Sergeant Sheba. Shipmaster coming up to help out. And the Blueberries get chopped down like a tree in the fall, preparing for a cold winter. As the farmer takes the tree down to create a nice warm house. Corporal O'Reilly throwing some grenades. Looks like he got Dunny with that grenade. Nice one. Fentanyl takes him down. All these blueberries. Now, perhaps you are new to Hell Let Loose. This game came out in 2019. I've been playing for about a year and a half. And I am obsessed with this game. I've never played a game as much as I've played this. Maybe you've had your own game like that. Hey, maybe it was Minecraft from back in the day. For me, I was really into Halo when I first started playing video games, kind of showing my age. But I tell you what, when Halo 2 and Halo 3 came out, life was different. And then Modern Warfare came out, the very first one. And that's when I learned about Xbox Live. I remember hooking up my Xbox 360 to a television, an old school television. Not a plasma screen, not a digital one, an old school TV, I think probably from the 1960s. It had that vanilla color, that yellow, nasty color. And I was playing on this tiny screen, running around, having no idea what I was doing, getting whooped by all these college dudes. And I was probably what? I don't know. I wasn't even in high school yet, sitting there playing the game. Modern Warfare 2 comes out. Play that game for a total of 2 weeks' time, I think. Maybe more than that. But I remember thinking about how obscene that was. And then Hell Let Loose comes out as I'm an adult with children, and I have played this game almost 1,000 hours, which that might not be that much, but for me, that's a record. So if you're thinking about checking out the game, I encourage you to give it a download. Oftentimes it is on sale. You can get it on Steam on your PC. You can get it on your console. And there is cross-play between Xbox and PlayStation. So Hell Let Loose is a 50 versus 50, I think some would call it. Maybe I'm still learning some of the terms. It's a sandbox type game where 50 players play against 50 players on these large maps. As you can see, I've been hovering over all these blue and red players, blueberries and raspberries. That's just a very small portion of this large map here. The idea is to capture objectives. So in this mode that we're watching here, it's called offensive mode. We have the allies, the blue team, attacking the Axis to try to capture, I'm going to pronounce it incorrectly, Stuckgen Farm. As you can see, the blueberries, the raspberries that is, a real nice hold on it. See this line here as they spread out to try to hold the flanks, not have anybody come in from behind. On offensive mode, the attacking team has 30 minutes to capture the point, and if they do, they move on to the next point where they are given another 30 minutes, and so on and so forth, and there's a total of 5 points. If the attacking team captures all 5, they win. If the defending team holds off the attackers until the time runs out, they win. Offensive mode can be fun. It's not the most popular game mode. And that mode, which is most often played, is called Warfare. Warfare is still 50 versus 50. And both teams are fighting for 5 points. You can capture points, you can defend them. All in all, you always have an attacking point and a defending point. And whoever has more points out of the 5 at the end of the match wins the game. Or you can capture all 5 points and win the game. Warfare is a little bit more difficult in some ways because you're playing both offense and defense. And there's a lot to look at on the map when you're doing that. So we got Sergeant Barnyard here. As we tune into the action, he gets taken out by Jarhead. Bear Jew moving up on Zwaffens. He gets taken down. Let's see what Zwaffen's shooting at here. Looks like he's got a nice vantage point. Seeing people coming over the hill right here. Some good smoke cover for Brantley and Dancer. Concealment, that is. Sounds like there's a tank moving up as well. Yes, sir. Over here we see Nasty sitting on his own in the Greyhound, doing what he can do with that coaxial gun. I think it's a coaxial. I'm not a tanker. Roast me, I don't care. V pushing up to take on Doobie, Shaggy, and a bunch of other people. V gets taken out by Doobie. As these blueberries continue to try to push this line back. It's like they're making ever so slight progress up here to the north. Joker, Tuna, Beetle, National Guard and Peril, Bath. This bombing run coming here on the point. Looks like that is an allied bombing run. Trying to take out as many people as they can. However, this Raspberry Axis team has done a nice job of forming a line, but it looks like since the last time I checked the map, their line is starting to break. These blueberries getting a nice push, getting onto the point, and I think they might make it theirs. Does look like it. Dancer, German Viking, Womble with radar, and the Stuart. Making the Axis have to pay for admission onto the point. Sergeant Hill comes up from the side. And the Allies take the point. So as mentioned earlier, if this is your first time watching a match, the Allies cap the point, the timer resets, and we are on to Roar River House. All right, let's move up to the action on the next point. So you can see, got a nice switchback, as we like to say in the game, going from one side of the map to the other. It's often helpful for the defensive team because it buys time, or the defensive team, because it buys time while the offense tries to push up to take the point. We got lots of MGs setting up in the windows here, licking their chops, waiting for these blueberries to come over the hill. Now, when it comes to streaming, it's hard to do on this map, especially when you're a noob like me. Looks like the Allied commander, and I guess chopped down there. However, there's a nice airhead that they were able to sneak in. It looked like it was a bad play by the commander, but in fact, he said, I'm going to distract him while you all come in right up the rear. Let's take a look at V here on the battlefield. V with the STG-44. Pushing up. You have to be quiet. You can't give him away. Takes down Terror. Reloads. There's someone to his left. I don't think he sees him. Oh, and he gets popped by a Woken Frost. Beetle here. Coming in to clean up. Fires a rocket. Beetle. Bandaging. Some MG fire coming in on Private Dancer. Airhead's got a nice spawn wave coming off of it. Allies setting up on the front door. Good move there by the leadership of the Allies, getting that front door garrison up so they can come in from the front, the back, side to side. And then you bring it around town. Beetle pushing in as Brantley distracts the Raspberries. Doobie. Beetle comes in. Oh, almost had the garrison here. That's Pope Benedict. Shows him what those German pistols are all about. V gets a nice satchel down. Proxy satchel. Some nice insurance. If he's not selling insurance, it would be a good idea to start as he gets that satchel down just in case he gets killed trying to take out the garrison. And it looks like these blueberries are really starting to overwhelm the axis here, coming off of that airhead from the back. A little bit going on in the front door. And that satchel goes off and clears out the house. Blueberries will move in. I will be surprised if the raspberries can hold this here. Got a few OPs. Garrison way in the rear. Might be able to wipe all these allied OPs here. Let's see what they do. Joker coming up. He says, this isn't funny anymore. It's time for me to put my lieutenant hat on and set the jokes aside. Sturm says, I don't know about that. The Joker's showing his nice, shiny gold bar off with Sergeant Hill pushing ahead. Joker says, you go ahead and play point while I sit back here and act like I know what I'm doing. He probably does. Sergeant Hill and Cole Hat push up behind this blueberry death machine. The Cole Hat doing his best to get that MG42 set up. Will he see Officer Doofy here? Doofy with the shotgun. Might turn him into Hamburger. Oh. And the Cole Hat gets one, but becomes gravy everywhere. It's okay. You fought with honor. All right, blueberries, solid control of the point. Raspberries have a nice line on the mountain, but they really need to work their way down. I don't think they're going to be able to hold this point here. But hey, at least they look good. All right, what do we got here? Another? We got Hill 400. The dreaded Hill 400. Nah, it's really not that dreaded, but I like this point. Some people hate this point. I think the people that hate this point, that hate this map, are tankers. And I'm going to call you tankers out. A lot of tankers are divas. A lot of tankers. So if that's you, and you tank, and you're complaining about trees, I got one thing to tell you. Get out the tank and pick up your rifle, Johnny. Get your gun, like Baff here. He says, I ain't scared. I'm here all by myself. I'm gonna try to blow everybody up. I'm coming for Piff Magic Drago. Beetle comes up the point. He's like a bed bug. He's everywhere. Baff sneaking around. Don't think he sees Magic. I think Magic sees him. Oh, we did it. Oh. Baff dies with valor. KIA. His family would be proud. Officer Doofy, though, coming in with a shotgun. But I believe maybe Beetle, the bedbug, pops Magic Drago of Slytherin. Oh, that's Draco. Big Christmas. Over here, hoping for Advent soon. Tired of the rain. Looking forward to the snow. Just wants a nice white Christmas as the Allies try to win the war here. Christmas gets taken down by Bucks. Sorry, buddy. Looks like Advent will not arrive this year. All right, let's head over here to the Elsenwig Junction. as I remember English. Viper over here with his sniper. Viper the sniper with Sergeant Gooch. Stonewall, Doobie, Shake and Bake. So we have a nice friendly Commander Jay Smelly rolling some supplies up here so that the raspberries can build a fortress to hold the point. Right here we got Nukem Jr., not to be confused with Nukem, who I believe Nukem and Nukem Jr. are, well, they play together a lot. Let's just say that. Maybe that goes without saying. Nukem Jr. was the star of the show the other night with his machine gun. And Nukem Jr. is laying down some cover fire as the blueberries slowly work their way up with this line. They have a nice red line garrison here. However, nobody's protecting it. A hollow point might take it out. These blueberries approach down the hill. Lieutenant Soup and Barber coming in to give him a fade with his rocket launcher. You love to see it. PFC Albonia, the quad killer of the DAWG server, coming up with Brantley and Thomas. Thomas says, shoot at me, I don't care. My buddy Brantley will get you. Looks like he takes down DB Happy. Brantley lays down some cover fire with Bonia pushing up. Smoke going down. Bonia, I'm up. He sees me, I'm down. Crawls in the grass. Pulls out a bandage. And remembers his basic training. I'm up. He sees me. I rocked him. Bonia gets popped. However, he does clear the way a bit for no blueberries behind him. Let's see what we got over here. Looks like the blueberries are going to be coming in from the north. Got a garrison set up. It's like trying to set one up in the rear. And they have a nice blue line on the south side. But look at this fortress that Monkey Hanger and Rye-Bread are building. Rye-Bread sits the yeast out overnight and watches his fortress rise. And here comes a bombing run. And it dissolves the bread like a loaf in a pond on a hot July afternoon. Viper the sniper. Rye-Bread says, I got more slices in me. He comes back to build his fortress. The yeast ain't done until the tomorrow sun. Brantley coming in with Officer Doofy. Doofy running with the shotgun. Got a satchel as well. Let's see if he has some fun with that. Brantley up here with the rifleman class. He says, I don't need no fancy weapons. Just give me my gun. His M1. Brantley reloads. Looks like that was his grenade. He's I'm Gully on his left. Let's see if he sees him. He sees him. Finally gets hit. Takes down Gully. And he has a massive wave of red fire back. Soup, shipmaster, usual suspect, coming in. Ready for their police lineup, usual suspect. Runs away from his squad, says, I can do it all by myself. With dust off, getting taken down. National Guard as well. National Guard, the squad leader. Waiting on his mates. Leave, throws some smoke. Maybe trying to create a diversion. Tell you what, there's nothing like a cold glass of water from the faucet. I don't know where you live. Maybe the water is pretty terrible. But where I live, something about the water, man. Love it. Shipmaster. Makes monkey hanger fall like a ton of bricks. Shipmaster and Soup with Bear Jew coming in, clearing the trenches, taking out. Maybe that was an OP. And he makes Wah dude say Wah. The heck is going on here? Bear Jew working on. Nope. Wisely decides to hold off on the nodes as he takes down 3. Quad kill. See if he can get 5. Does he see Hill here? Was that him? Somebody got Hill. Bear Jew makes Jarhead pay for having a high and tight fade as he gets mowed down by DB Howdy. Blueberry's making some headway here with Sergeant Sphere on Overwatch with his big, fat 30-06. Show him what Browning's made of. Make that stock price go up, buddy. Sergeant Sphere continues to push. Sergeant Major Sphere, I should say. He lays it down. Fills the grass full of shells. As they pour out into the grass. All the while his blueberry friends push up, get taken out. Lieutenant Soup dumps all over the ground. Fender, PD Payne, and Animal Ulandetto coming up. Wait. Oh. And the 2v3 goes down. We got Ride Red again. The Fortress Builder throws a grenade, shoots one, gets the double kill, coming after Soup and gets taken down. Let's see if he's got another slice in him later on. PD Pain. Getting warm. It's been a long day. His feet are cold. Let's watch this trench action here. I will be right back as you observe the blueberries begin to pour on the point. Green in this nice offensive match. I don't know who voted for this, but I can guarantee that there are some people who really don't want to play this match right now. So we'll see. Maybe it'll be a quick one. Maybe it'll be a steamroll. Maybe not. So I should introduce myself. My name is Critic. I am a DAWG, and I am streaming tonight's DAWG Pile. The DAWG Pile, for those of you that don't know, is when all the dogs, the members of Dog Division, are placed on the same team. Alright, I have returned from my technical adventures, and it looks like the stream is up and running. 30-minute delay can be a bit of a killer sometimes, but it looks like audio sounds good. Maybe game audio could be a little bit louder. Let me know in the chat here. All right. Getting her done. I hope you enjoyed that leaf for the last 30 seconds. Blueberries have begun to dump down the hill like water onto the red fire. With DB Howdy pulling out his rosary, hoping for the best, but he gets the worst. Shipmaster says, "I'm the captain now," as they take the point. Alright, next point is Paper Mill. Just like earlier, we got another switchback, so let's head over to Paper Mill, down the hill, as we observe this beautiful T-17 landscape in the land of Hell Let Loose. Gus, already on the point, takes out one. What's he got there? You know, earlier I said that V had an STGG, and he was an American, so he had the BAR. So make fun of me in the chat. I'm going to turn up the game audio here a bit. It sounds like it's a little bit low. Alright, I hope you like the sound of my typing. Look at this nice bombing run coming in from the Allied commander. I'm sorry, Wilson. He drops it on him. Took out a nice wave, however, just barely missed the garrison. where many raspberries just spawned in. This nice little battle shaping up here across the creek, the river, the waterway, whatever you want to call it, as the blueberries try to run across the open field to make their way into this warehouse, the paper mill. Kitty Liquor 69. Showing them why everybody loves the MG42. So maybe he reloads here. I'm better. Fire some rockets. Cole Hat pulls out his MG. Takes out Bond. And he gets popped by the sniper radar. Sounds like maybe an AT gun or a tank. Throwing it in. We got Barber and Brantley on the AT gun. Turning paper mill into sawdust. And that view does not work. Love it. Allies have a nice push. 3.5 minutes into this point, already starting to cap. Looks like the Axis are going to need a bit of a miracle here. Maybe they'll go get themselves a nice glass of water that can't possibly be any better than mine. But Albonia works his way up in the explosions, in the action, and gets gunned down by Shaggy. Bond. Beaver Tater. Fellow. Gravy everywhere. Fender. Patty Main. Some of them are dead. Some of them are wounded. That shows me I'm scared. Beaver Tater. Sitting there with his nice pump-action shotgun. Ooh. And he gets mowed down by the Cole Hat. Right over here, we still have more blueberries trying their best across these open fields. Nothing in the back line yet. Nothing in the HQ, so it looks like the Allies are stuck with just shoving it right in the front for now. Maybe they're waiting on an airhead. Don't see. Well, here is one supply truck with the commander. I'll have to check back in on that. Sauce and barnyard. Shipmaster and Beaver Tater. Also showing off their basic training skills this match with the low crawl on more of a high crawl. And Newcomb Jr. puts on his distraction helmet and runs ahead. Though he is taken down by Northern Guy, however, he paves the way for Shipmaster, who also gets taken down, and oh, you would, gets taken down. Bonia, let's see what you do. Nice, nice. Got a man behind you, doesn't matter. You just need to take the ground. Bonia? Get some nice grenades off. Goes down with his buddies. That's at least a silver star for him. Fender. I don't know where Patty Wayne just went. Either he lagged out or it exploded. Nevertheless, Sturm remains. Someone throws some smoke. Maybe it's his. It looks like he's got a satchel out. This could be a really nice proxy satchel if he makes it happen. Let's see. As he explodes. Sturm, maybe they can put you back together for the funeral, bud. Over here, the raspberries. They say, we need a miracle. Well, let's give it a shot. They come over to flank around from the north side. We get some fratricide on the blueberries. And I apologize if I'm moving the monitor a little too quickly. I get excited. So I'll slow it down here. DCQ, Rismo, and Syrian Tear. Looking to make those blueberries turn dark blue. Oh, Rismo. Not aware more Blundetto. Doesn't look like many people are. However, there's a lot of shooting going on. DCQ doesn't quite see Animal Blundetto. I don't know. Must be loud down there. Sergeant Sloan moving up with the car 98 or 19, whatever. The car works on trying to pop Gus. Zap right in front of him. He shovels him in the back. Shlong returns. Does he get a double shovel? Does he get it? Maybe Gus gets him. And Slong says nothing because he's blown to bits. Blueberries have another nice push going. About 20 minutes left. These raspberries got to hold on. Zap Womble. Booms Langen. And Mine Guy looking to clear the way. Let's see, Mine Guy. I know you don't have mines, but maybe you got no satchel. Bullet to the chest. Lieutenant Hugh Jass. Trying to show off the size of his weapon. Does not have the MG42. I believe that's the MG34. Looks like he's doing some damage though. Syrian Terror. Runs right at Womble. Misses him. Says I don't care. I'm gonna reload and I'm gonna blow up. My main goal is to blow up and then act like I don't know nobody. Yeah. Officer Doofy packs and the Joker is back over here coming off of their OP. That's a very aggressive OP as Doofy might take a grenade and yeah, looks like there he goes. Takes it out. And Doofy and gang rely on their squad leader to hopefully Get another OP back up for him. Looks like some blueberries are coming around to the side here. Top of the mountain as well as from the north. Front door. Still doing a little bit here, but these blueberries in the back, I think they're going to try to end this game so we can get off of this friggin' map in this stupid offensive mode. That's what they're saying in command chat. Contrary to popular opinion, I do very much like this map. And a tank rolls by half track underneath me. Stone wall. It's a tree. It's a tree. It's a tree. Runs over a rock. And stops for a smoke break. Turns off the half track. Get his friendlies a spawn point there. Where are we on the map? Looks like, did he forget to turn it off? Did he leave it on? I don't know. Can't really hear it that well. Nevertheless, the blueberries will likely sweep in. Satchel on it. Hit it with a rocket. Continue to advance up the rear of Paper Mill. The coal hat doing his best to stave off the blueberries. Now have the high ground. Bombing run coming in. Honestly, I don't know if that was Allied or Axis. Either way, the blueberries start to flood the point, contest the point, and the raspberries come down and pull an OB1 and take the high ground. Perhaps they spawned off of this half track here. Surprised to still see it standing. Maybe it's that fancy German camo in the bushes. Ned Ryerson from Case Western High goes down. I'm better. Tries to show off his name with some grenades on Teddy Roosevelt. Officer Doofy. And Soup pours himself over I'm better with his small arms, but then gets taken out by Iconics. Joker and DCQ looking to come in with another Hail Mary, but I don't think it's enough. And it is not. The Allies take the victory on Hill 400 offensive mode. So congrats to I'm Sorry Wilson. Nice job commanding that match. Nice job to the Allies. And we'll join you for the next match as we take a break. right, so I have some good news and I have some bad news. The good news, we're back. The bad news, it's offensive again. But at least we got a different map here. And I need to change my icons on my screen. So it looks like this is a German offensive going after the Russians as we begin the battle on hay storage. And I'll adjust my screen while you enjoy. Look at that, I'm a professional. I love it. You love it. Alrighty. Alright, so looks like the Russians getting set up nicely here on hay storage. Taking some indirect fire there. As the blueberries look to push up in these buildings here. Really the only cover that they can utilize trying to get into this point unless they want to push through the open field. But Gary Benson, Dunny, Intradermal, Macchiat, and they just keep coming in. They're not fooled. They're ready for Ned Ryerson and Dancer. GM Masco, Beetle, Bucks hanging out with his MG, getting some crossfire on that field there, as we can see the P4 in the distance, backing up on fire. Maybe trying to get back to a rep station in the HQ. These blueberries here facing a bit of an iron curtain, as I believe a body just fell from the sky. A Vator goes down. With Booms, Langen trying to outsmart and get the high ground. Alright, we're back in the USSR as I come off of mute here. The blueberries getting some ground here to the west. And the raspberries are pretty committed there to the east in those houses. Can't blame them. That's probably where I would go, especially in a public match. However, it's a good opportunity for the Axis here to push in. They're already contesting the point with just a couple people here. Burla Wanger trying to end their dreams, though. With his rockets here, maybe he'll get a double kill. He's reloading, or resupplying, you know what I mean. He's getting more ammo. And the Axis are eliminated. The Schlag continues up here as the blueberries do their best to clear these houses, but Slayer Wiseman has made it across this little open area to take the high ground. Using his PPSH with the drum mag. Slayer Wiseman is one and taken down by a whole host of blue dots over there. Alright. Seems like this is the main battle right here. Blueberry's really trying to work their way up the west. It's a lot of open fields over there. Let's see what they can make happen. Got some help from OU Wood and a Panzer IV. Now, I was thinking about the Russians earlier today, and I know in the last match I was talking about some of my history with video games, and it's fun to share all this technology with my dad. Back in the day, he introduced me to video games with the N64, and really got excited on some Banjo-Tooie on the N64, as well as Super Smash Brothers. And you don't know who I am, so I'll tell you this story. I used to come home from school, elementary school, and I'd go straight to the freezer, grab a frozen waffle, wouldn't even toast it, and I'd just eat it frozen. And I tell you what, those blueberry waffles, when you do that, it's some kind of treat. So I encourage you to give it a try, but I would get a frozen waffle or two, run up to my room, turn on the Super Smash Brothers with no, what's it called, a memory card? No memory card. Play as Kirby as one does, and just rock it out for 1-2 hours. My mom got home. Not do my homework till the next day when I'd copy my friend's homework. And just had the time of my life, but getting a little off track. Started out with an N64, and then the PlayStation 2 came out. So in my time, the PlayStation, of course, was a big deal when it first came out, but I never had the original PlayStation. My adventures started with the PlayStation 2. And I remember when Medal of Honor Frontline came out. Maybe some of you remember that game, but the very first mission, well, the game starts off with FDR in a speech. You're about to embark on a great crusade, with the heroic music in the background, with the choir, as the blueberries start to cap the point here with the help of this P4. And it looks like that'll be the end of that for now. But the heroic music, and then you jump onto the game, you start the first mission, and the next thing you know, you're on a boat, and you are about to storm the beaches of Normandy. And I remember, man, that was such a big deal. Running in, I'm like maybe 10 years old, getting chopped down on the beaches with an M1 Grand. I thought the graphics were unbelievable. And going back and watching gameplay now, it doesn't look good. But at the time, man, that was the game. And I bring it up because that also led to playing the Call of Duty games. Now, I know Call of Duty, a lot of criticism nowadays. But back in the day, those Call of Duty games were mint. Call of Duty Finest Hour. That game was another one I put a lot of hours into. Playing as, I think, all the factions, if I remember correctly. But the reason I bring it up is playing as the Russians in that game. Remember the commercial came out as Bucks takes down 2 people here, gets the double kill. Some armor over here, gets taken down, Dunnian and flank around it. Points contested a bit, with still about 20 minutes left to cap. But Call of Duty Finest Hour, that first mission playing as the Russians. You're on the boat, on a river, coming into Stalingrad. And man, I was a kid. This bombing run comes in here. Looks like that was probably an Axis bombing run. But man, as a kid, you're playing that game, you get off a boat, you have no idea what city you're in. You're like, 8 years old. And the dude, when you get off the boat, goes, I'll just keep pushing forward or I'll shoot you myself. And he hands you a pistol. And I'm like, I paid $50 for this game to start the match with a pistol. Now, eventually you get better weapons, but that leads me to the point of this whole story. Is that game had the PPSH in it. I had no idea what it was, but man, when you pick that up for the first time as a kid in a video game, you got the drum mag on there, and you just start poning Germans. That'll change a man. So when I come to Hell Let Loose as a grown man, remembering my days of frozen waffles, not knowing what I'm doing playing Call of Duty, I reminisce about the PPSH. Durlawanger. Was that a double kill? Great rocket. Well, now it's a double kill. Let's watch him go. Takes out 2. Reloading his PPSH. He knows what's up. As he takes down 2 more. Quad kill. 4. And he gets 4 of them before he goes down. At least 4 on camera. Maybe more. That is some good stuff, brother. The crowd is impressed. Nice quad kill there. Now the Axis continue to put pressure on the point. Can't quite keep their foot on the gas, though it looks like maybe here they are, Pax and flank Sergeant Slom coming in to take on I'm Wampin. Looks like I'm Wampin ain't fooled though. Maybe he is. Oh, he's not. Takes out Schlong. 2 of his buddies come in off his outpost. Continuing to lose the point, but I tell you what, I'm Wampin, pro move, puts down his outpost right here. Now, for those of you who like to play squad lead, this is called an outpost. Not sure if you've heard of it, not sure if you've used it, but you can put it down with your watch. So if you're ever playing squad lead, you gotta put those outposts down, man. Pull out that watch, drop it down, and then your squad can spawn on it. I know it's a wild concept. Not sure what T17 was thinking when they bought the game from Black Matter. They should have fixed the OP system. Why would they let officers drop outposts? I don't know. But I know it's news to some of you. So drop those OPs for your buddies. Build those garrisons. If you don't, I'm gonna make fun of you. Let's head over to Lumberyard. Oh, Lumberyard is another fun point out in the middle of nowhere. Similar to the first point. What was that first point? Oh, hay storage. We got Lumberyard here. So raspberries have plenty of time to get it in gear. before the blueberries can get any real pressure. Now again, similar to hay storage, probably the best way into the point is this little group of houses here. You can see all of these German forces know that. Coming up to take on Zardbelev, the recon squad lead, as he gets taken out, maybe by Darth Doom? Let's take a minute to acknowledge Darth Doom and appreciate him. Now, Darth is a dog, and he joined the DAWG division maybe a month, 6 weeks ago. He said, I want to play some comp matches. Well, that's not very flattering. He said, I want to play some comp matches. I want to play with DAWG. So he jumps in. Not even level 50 yet. The man's a recruit. Jumps right in. Some of our hardest matches. And he kills it. Probably one of our most reliable players on the team. Great logistics player. Playing the SPA earlier this week as well. Raining down some hellfire on some of our enemies. The man continues to level up. Continues to get better. And continues to show people that DAWG ain't no chump. Now, if you want to schedule a CVC, clan versus clan comp match with us, a scrimmage, be sure to check out our Discord. You can follow the link below in the bottom right corner. The DAWG Division, discord.gg/the DAWG Division. Jump in there, check out the link. Well, actually, jump in there and open a ticket, and we'll point you in the right direction. We'll get things set up for you. Get you in the Ambassador Hub, set up some scrimmages, and we can have some fun. Who doesn't love a good scrim? Now we got the allies. Really filling out that rectangle nicely up there, but the Axis gaining some ground here to the east. Warlord says, I'm just gonna run out in the field. They're not gonna expect it. It's too obvious. With the concealment of the smoke, cover of the fence, he takes down 1, 2. Did he get 3? At least 2. See if he gets shaggy. Not quite. But his open field sprinting strategy pays off for him here. It's for his friends to get some ground. He takes out Northern guy. 3-4 kills there. And the Axis begin to contest the point. Now let's follow this tank here. Where'd it go? Right here we got a Tiger. We got Big Christmas, Troll, and Barson rolling up in the Tiger, showing them who is the boss. Let me look at these controls here because I don't know what I am doing. There we go. Check that. Looks like they're gonna hang out here on the road, try to protect their friends. Getting into a little bit of cover. Look at all those raspberries. The Tiger turns his angry turret. It is too crazy. Doesn't have anything to take it out in that loadout. Definitely calling it out as he goes down. Tiger. All right, takes out something over here. I wasn't even paying attention. Takes out an AT gun. Probably taking on this recon tank as well. One shot to it. Let's see. If you're like me, you have trouble seeing the recon tanks because I don't have a good excuse. Maybe they're having trouble seeing the recon tank here. Maybe it's the camo. One solid shot from that Tiger. Probably put her down. This Tiger has relocated. I drive right through the Axis bombing run. The Russians getting it together, reeling it back in, pushing them back off. You see, Russian tank is flanked around. I believe that's a T-34. Medium tank taking on this heavy Tiger tank. Christmas probably about to get blown to bits here. Oh, did they miss? I'm saying turn it around. Shoot it. Stop turning. Hit it. And the Tiger of Barson, Troll, and Christmas takes down the T-34. Takes down some infantry. And flexes its jaws. Flashes? Flexes? Whatever. Allies getting swept off the point here with the Axis coming in. And I didn't even see that the Axis captured the point. Man, who is this streamer? He sucks. Axis capture lumberyard while I am sleeping over in the corner with distillery being the next point up for grabs. A Tundra here. Looks like he's putting some mines down on the garrison. Distillery already facing quite a bit of pressure, maybe from just one man, Zwaffens. And an Axis airhead's going to be coming down over here. Let's see how that goes for them as they continue to get cap pressure on distillery. Should be coming down right here in front of me somewhere. Looks like the Russians are not fooled as Zardblev comes up with a supply truck and takes out the airhead probably just before a spawn comes in. The Axis still putting pressure on the point. Patty Main over here running assault. Although I imagine Zardblev aims to put an end to that, dropping supplies, building garrisons, and now the Russian airhead comes down in desperation. As I imagine with Zardbalev dropping supplies, the airhead coming down, that command chat is hot. Where are my garrisons? I need garrisons. And the Axis capture distillery. Now that brings us to Bitter Spring on the switchback here. Long run for the blue team. Sergeant Squid getting his running shoes on. As well as O'Reilly, Pax, and company ahead. Teddy Roosevelt riding his horse into battle. Silk gets down his OP for his friends. Says it ain't the best, but it works for now. And does a pro move and gets his OP down. You love to see it. Very interesting. Okay, that was Commander Artie. For some reason, I thought that was the Russians firing their own rockets on their point. Well, looks like they've been busy back here. Major Payne, Shaggy have a very nice bunker for their buddies to set up their machine guns. Look out with their snipers. Look at all these supplies. Another bunker back here. And a pro move. Putting the garrison in the bunker. Good stuff. Now, if you didn't know that you could do that, the trick is that you build the garrison first. And then you build the bunker around the garrison. And then you should be good to go. No problems from there. Generally protected from most indirect fire. And most rockets. Good stuff. Over here, the Axis are getting some pressure from the east. Let's check out this map. Lots of pressure from the east. A little bit from the north and south as well, but this appears to be the front line at the moment. Mongo gets a double kill, I believe, unless Dead Riser helped him. GM Masco cautiously approaches. And Bad Boy's hanging out. Thought maybe he would have dropped a satchel there. Doesn't want to blow up his buddies, however. And GM Masco has to reload. Gets blown away by Makiyat. Delicious. Okay. 4 king crabs spreading his very large crab legs. Shoots his teammate. And reloads. And he gets blasted. Well, that's rough, man. Blueberry's holding a housewarming fire over here, or a housewarming party. Maybe there's a fire. Trying to enjoy the winter of the very cold, desolate Russian landscape. Bearju and Gus working on it. Looking for Shaggy, who ain't fooled. He's watching those stairs. And he whiffs at first, but still gets animal blundetto. Bearju says, I don't hear nothing. And gets blown up by a grenade. Nice double kill for Shaggy there. Let's see if he can get the trip. Gus? Shaggy? Housemates with Albonia. And then to maybe clean this up here. Let's see what he does. More blood. Shaggy's blood. Good opportunity for Bonia to come up while he bandages. However, he has no idea. This Bonia gets taken out by another dirty Russian. Probably Major Payne here. Or Rumpelminty. Maybe one of those guys up top. Scopes. One True God. Nick Cage. That's a great name. The battle continues over here to the north. Maki yacht, and they just keep coming in. They're not fooled. They're ready for Ned Ryerson and Dancer. GM Masco. All right. I've returned and everyone is dead, and something blew up. Half track. Axis. Getting some cap weight on the point. Coming after Major Payne and Scopes. Fender. Warlord. Show they're not scared. Fighting for the fatherland. Nope. They are Germans. They're trying to take the motherland. While the Germans are fighting for the fatherland. Beetle goes down. Ooh, it was a really fancy, almost in the window grenade. Offender gets a nice satchel here. Unintentionally, likely going to kill quite a few friendlies. Good intentions. Good spot for it. Might get scopes. And he gets scopes. Takes down the bunker, the barricades, and all hope for keeping that area secure. The Axis flood in. Dino goes down. Hot Dog 7 trying to get through the window but gets T-17'd. Barbecue. Bearju and Jarhead duking it out. And an Allied bombing run, Allied Axis bombing run will be coming in somewhere if I check my map. Oh, it's in the distance, however. Those Soviet rockets are coming in. Let's give it a gander. Truthfully, not very well placed. Probably got some bad recon. Would have been better to place it more to the west here. However, the Russians are holding their own here a bit. Indirect fire coming in. Close to tundra. Looks like that's friendly direct fire. Indirect fire. And it is spicy in that house. Oof. Looks like the Axis are securing control now, really starting to make some nice hamburger patties out here in the open. Maintaining control of the house, although one well-placed satchel, not by Buck, doesn't have the right loadout, but one well-placed satchel could clear that baby off. The northern fortress continues to hold. They exchange rockets, bullets, cries for mercy. Huge 12 with his bolt action, doing his best. Besides, they know where I am. Time to go somewhere else. Tell you what, I am surprised that this point is taking so long to cap. A lot of blueberries, raspberries. It is a large circle, so these raspberries are still in the circle. But it looks like it won't be enough here. Nice job for the Allied team taking Bitter Spring. Next point is German fuel dump. And the Axis are already making a play for that point. Let's check it out. Where's that tank at? I don't know what I'm doing. Recon tank over there. Missed the whole thing. Patty Main. Sending Bad Boy into the stratosphere. It's Patty Main is taken down by a host of the Red Army. Looks like Bad Boy is gonna work on some more fortifications here. Get in on some action. Lays down the blueprint. Pulls out his hammer. Maybe needs some supplies. He says, hey, Nighthawk, bring your 50 supplies over here and drop them so I can build something. He says, yeah, man, anything for you. Let's build it. As they sacrifice their brawn, their sweat, their time for Mother Russia. T-34, unless that's an IS. I don't know the Russian tanks very well. Rolls up. Let me give it a gander. That's a T-34. I was right. And bad boy maybe changed his mind, so let's see what this tank does here. I definitely didn't mean to do that, but it fits. Looks like the Axis looking to flank around here from the northwest. Commander Soul Elephant waiting on his precious booty coming down. Maybe sees Monkey Hanger coming, unless he's looking at his map. Monkey Hanger doesn't see him. The Soul Elephant says, "This ain't my first rodeo, bro." And the supplies come down nicely for Soul Elephant to lay his trunk out and build a garrison for his team. Now he's probably continuing to check the map here. Not terribly worried about enemies because I'm T-Pain. Could build it if necessary. Let's get a nice commander highlight. As Soul Elephant builds the garrison for his team. Engages. Sees two more. And maybe bails. I don't know. I would. Herbert West 85. The MG. Waiting. And SFH brings up the half track to help out his team with another spawn point. Hopefully. Maybe at least for a little while. And that is a beautiful spot for a half track. Very nicely done, SFH. As he redeploys. Stonewall out here with another tank. Now this is, oh man, I'm gonna get this one wrong. I'm gonna say this is also a T-34, or is it an IS? I'm learning. Yeah, is it? Yeah, it's a T-34. Yep. Okay. American tanks, German tanks, you got it. Too easy. British tanks, too easy. These Russian tanks, man, something about them confuses the pants off of me. So it appears as though the big infantry battle is coming in from the, I think this is the southeast side. I believe so. And flank coming in to take on several people. Scopes and flank goes down. Sounds like a garrison nearby. Bongo, not worried. Probably telling his teammates, hey, mark my body. There's garrison right here. Turns out it's another half track. And And he satchels the house. Very nicely done. Let's see how many kills he gets. Let's see if he gets the half track. This could be a quad kill half track situation. Let's see, who was that? Mongo Pong MLF. Axis calling another bombing run here. Very, very nice. It's at least 4, maybe 5. Somebody comment in the chat. Tell me how many that was. And get this man a highlight of the night award that I just made up right now. Very nice. Takes out the half track. Looks like huge. Whoa. Huge. Major Pain and Rooster. Not necessarily aware of Mongo. Not to be confused with Rambo. Behind them. And having his way here. As he clears the house all on his own. It's for thermal. I don't know if I'm gonna get whacked here. Intradermal decides to go with the MG. However, Mongo truly gets the biggest laugh here with the satchel of the day. Now, earlier when I messed up the stream, I was really excited because I got a double tank satchel kill on the screen, and I have to remember who it was. Maybe it'll come to me later, but somebody satcheled Stewart. Now they satcheled a Sherman, and they took out both a Sherman and a Stewart with one satchel. It was a very nice thing. Feel bad I didn't get it on clip, but if that was you, shout out to you. Nicely done. Be a big contender for Satchel of the Night. Zwaffins shows Raw Dog that he don't need no protection. Takes him out. The Russians say, yeah, you can blow up our house. You can take out our half track. But we're just going to keep coming. The flood of the Red Army continues to replace one body after another. Troll Barson, Big Christmas, do not care. Rolling in with their P4 over the fuel barrels. Taking on this T-34. Whiff a bit, going over the barrels. However, they flank around behind. T-34. You know, I don't know what's going on. It's a one-man crew, so probably just hoping for the best here. As he turns the turret around. And Troll, Barson, and Christmas take out the T-34 and have themselves a nice dinner. Let's see if they turn here, mow down. Oh, they could get a lot of infantry here. Probably just trying to find some cover after taking that tank out. However, there was another T-34 around here somewhere. Not sure. There it is. Looks like he came back to drop some repairs. Shay. As Barson and gang get another T-34. Now the Red Army's quite angry, chasing him down. Raw Dog Everything's exploding. The hands are forward. Doesn't care. Runs him over. Just having a nice time here. Making lots of mincemeat. Let's see if they go after this half track. Seems like that half track was able to safely, quietly sneak away. The Axis. All the while, send in their best men. Show up with angry guns. The barrels hot. Take out Russian resistance. Nicely done. Congrats and good game to the Axis. Soul Elephant, if I can get to you, you get my comm. All right, let's take a break. We will be back with the next match. To Dogcast for our next match. Another Russian match. Russian map match, I should say. Here on Kursk. As we have ourselves a good bit of fun in the fog. Oh, this should be fun in admin camera. I'm not going to be able to see anything while I get myself oriented here. Let me switch my screen around. And you enjoy the fog. All right, there you have it. Now, I hope that you like the scoreboard at the top, because I wasted so much time at work today putting that together. I was supposed to be doing other stuff, but I started to obsess. So I hope you like it. If you don't like it, you can go kick rocks. But man, oh man, I'm proud of that beast. Proud of all this stuff here. Proud of the dog division. Alright. Let's follow these guys into battle here. Yeah, just, you know, proud of the dog division. Now, dog turned 1 year old this year. I believe, you know what? I'm going to get the month wrong, but it was early this year. And DAWG has been through a lot over that last year. A lot of people with a lot of, well, just wanting to do different things. And, you know, I've never been part of a video game community like this before. You really learn a lot. There's a lot of things that go on. We all play the game to have fun, and after all, that's why Dog Division exists. We're community first. We're here to have fun, and that's really the end of it. But sometimes people have different ideas of fun, and that can be tough sometimes. But I'm proud of Dog with where we are now. Doing very well. I mean, streaming these matches, these public matches, is a sign of some of the things that we're doing well. Growing, we have a good staff team, and just proud to be a dog. So if you're watching this and you're thinking, you know, I like those dogs, I want to join them, check us out. Follow that link in the bottom right, discord.gg/thedawgdivision. Hop on board, let's have some fun together. Let's watch these guys as they go into the point. Let's see what kind of damage they can do. They approach the point. They don't know it, but I can see it. Many axes entering the point as they ditch the truck, probably wisely in the ditch, the main ditch on the top of the hill. Zardblev fires upon his teammates hastily, worried about the Russian war machine approaching, and he begins to open fire. Well, actually, I think he got... No, he's up here. But the battle begins. Lieutenant poses for the camera. Pulls out a grenade. Throws it. He goes down. Red Army floods over the hill. Camo cock. The MG-34, I believe. Will it be enough? Russians call in their rockets. Make it rain. Explosions. Body parts. Anger. Let's see if I'm a geek can survive the barrage. Looks like he does. That man's gonna go to church after this battle, thanking God for sparing his life. Really nicely done here by the Allies, the Russians, moving as One element throwing their smokes for concealment, hoping that Aviator doesn't blast him with his rocket here. So he gets taken down by Double R. Whoops. Sorry about that. Alright, let's watch some of the battle from afar. Cap weight continues in favor of the Russians. It's heavy fighting here on Yamki. Command Sergeant Major Spear coming up with his MG. Coming for Aviator. Ooh. Sergeant Spear going for the old fancy second floor. And at the same time, takes out Aviator. The sign of an experienced player. Spear takes out another in the distance with his machine gun. Scans, looks for more. As the game glitches and gives you a bad view. Spear's ready for anything. It looks like may have missed a massacre by Slayer Wiseman. Maybe 1, 2, 3. Rockets coming in. Naked Dude 2. Not to be confused with Naked Dude 1, laying it down with his machine gun here. Takes down Ali 99 Imad. Messing around, walking into the jaws of Naked Dude 2, who is forced to reload his weapon. And more Russian rockets coming in. Beautiful sight. Soul Elephant, and the Axis, preparing for an assault on destroyed battery with the rockets. However, not much resistance at the moment. Much of the fight still over by Yamki. I believe I'm getting my teams mixed up again, but it's okay. Russian tank over here with Brantley and Notorious Jin laying it on a P4, I believe. Another ricochet. Hard to get those shots from a light into a medium. However, they could do it here. Continue to fire at the P4. Keeping it busy. Keeping it distracted. However, that could be their end, and it is. Brutal, brutal, brutal death. Squish ain't scared. He's coming for racism, Pringle Man, and Lance Corporal Cuznetti. Squish working on the satchel here. Racism ain't fool. Jumps out. Gets ready to take him out. Maybe. Takes him down. As the P4 gets stuck. Briefly, Advisor putting in some AT rounds. Will it be enough? Looks like he needs to relocate here. The Allies starting to clean up the point. Yamki taking it back for themselves. Getting ready for Sunday dinner here in the houses. Getting rid of all the unwanted guests who have so rudely attacked their territory. Intradermal, double kill. And looks like he gets popped by Camcock. Dunny over here. Taking on Hot Dog 7. Enjoying the bush while he bandages. Takes one down. Takes two down. 3. Dunny. Getting reoriented. Throws a nice grenade. Gets one with the grenade. It's 4. 5. And he gets taken down by Lieutenant Soup, who will come and save his buddy Sergeant Squid from Dunny's angry STG-44. The Russians not giving up, taking the point back. Slayer Wiseman looking for a nice treat in the house. Takes out one. Checks the refrigerator. No more chocolate milk. Takes out the flamethrower. Coming for Dunny. Just had that nice kill spree back there. Lieutenant Squirrel gonna save Great Malachi. Who sets the house on fire. And Dunny goes down. Let's retake the point. Wiseman comes around, gets the double kill. Very nice. Wasn't sure how that was gonna go. And jumped over the fence right next to the guys. Itchy something goes down, taking on the duo. Warlord sees it. Doesn't look like they're aware that Itchy has regained his strength. Slayer takes him down with the PPSH. It's another. Slayer Wiseman. Taking fire from everywhere. It's time to be a one-man wrecking crew. Let's hold off this advance. Soviets doing a nice job holding the point. A lot of pressure on the axis on Yavki. Good opportunity to maybe, that the cap weight is starting to shift. Can eat my words, but it seemed like it was a good opportunity to possibly take destroyed battery. However, Russians are going to need all the help they can get. This big push that's coming. A lot of raspberries here. Idiot monkey. Trying to solo. And goes down. Spear. Doesn't see Dunny. Oh, gets Dunny. Catches on fire. Dunny got him with a, you know what? I don't even know what he got him with. Nonetheless, they both go down. Bomber comes in from the Axis commander. Flames coming in. Bran flakes. And an angry Bucks slams his tank into the walls, pulls an Austin Powers, tries to turn it around, chases Bran Flakes, and eventually gets him. However, Ned Ryerson from Case Western High getting some shots in. Bucks runs down another player. This wheel is on fire. And he's going after everybody. Wonder if he knows that's... Yep, okay. Thought he was going to run over his teammate. And he gets out to repair his tank. I'm getting sleepy. This will be the last match that I stream for tonight's DAWG Pile, which has now ended. However, we will continue on with the stream until the winner is decided. Seems like most of the action continues on Yamki. Soviets really getting sandwiched here by the Axis. Doesn't look like they really have any spawns either, so these remaining blueberries are going to be all that's left to try to hold off this big blitzkrieg coming for them from the army of the fatherland. Pizza guy gets one, goes down. And I believe send nodes maybe, along with Fender, the last hope. Fender wearing his sneaky poncho. You can hear him down there. And the blue point becomes red. Fender calling in for extraction, forgetting the Soviets do not yet have helicopters, and he must wait on the soldiers on the ground to come save him. Fender goes down, but he dies with valor. And already can see the power of not having garrisons on the map. Now, contrary to popular opinion, people blame the commander for not building garrisons. However, if you have played any Hell Let Loose outside of a public match, you will know that that is not true. So, the squad leaders, as well as the commander of the Soviets, lose a lot of ground. Looks like likely because of the lack of garrisons. The garrison went down on point. Not much between them and Panzer's End. They have two garrisons back here to help them out. But this big line of raspberries is coming in to clean up the windmills, capture this sector, and work their way downhill into Panzer's End as they take the high ground here. Catman. Big D from the pack. Gonna see what they can do here against Naked Dude and Teddy Roosevelt. Naked Dude with the pro move, putting down his outpost. I mess up the shot. But Naked Dude with the outpost, helping his team, helping his squad, so that they don't give up too much ground. Unless that's Bonya's outpost. Either way, whoever that is, they're doing the Lord's work. As I search my soundboard for the right noise, and I don't find anything. It's too late. Alright, probably gonna be another spawn wave off this OP here in a moment. Maybe get some AT in here to try to take out that Panther. Squish, maybe he's got a satchel, might try to go for it. Not sure he's aware that Panther's coming up right behind him. Spence puts a rocket in the Panther, reloads. Maybe one more. Spence, ricochet. Spence, maybe one more rocket. Brantley comes up, tries to clean it up. Lays down in the grass. Fires a rocket from the grass and takes the Panther out. Very nice. Money in the bank. Brantley with a nice highlight. Cleaning up what those before him set up for him. Intradermal and Skipper with Soup working on taking back the windmills, recognizing how important it is to hold this area of the map, whether it's one of the points or not. It's the high ground. It is the way forward, and it is the way on the hill to victory. Wrath of Thor. Enjoying some trench time. Just sending it. Coming in for Beetle. Looking for Squish. Squish goes down from another angle. Thor. Coming in with his Gewehr. Takes out Teddy. Takes out the OP. Goes for Slayer Wiseman. Tundra takes Beetle down. And just like that, an entire squad is wiped by the wrath of one man, Thor himself. Very nice play. As he gets his OP down. That is good stuff. The Russians look to make up some ground. However, not so sure that's going to work out very well. Get all this open field that they can defend from these trenches here. That also means they need to advance across those same fields if they hope to have any kind of push on Yankee. Let's take a look at the map here. Looks like the Axis have strong control of the map. Bravo, Echo, recon teams looking for the garrisons back here. Maybe trying to take them out. Get something set up for their allies on Yamki. However, the Germans are forming a nice front here. As you can see in real life, coming across the map, coming across the field. Doing their best to make it happen. Teddy Roosevelt over here, mowing people down. One of his legendary quotes: if you were to kick the person who's responsible for most of your problems, I messed the whole thing up. It says some amount. If you could kick the person who's responsible for your problems, you wouldn't walk for a week. Kick him in the groin. Again, not another good moment for me on stream. But if you haven't read or looked at many of Teddy Roosevelt's quotes, I encourage you to do so. I know he's kind of a wild character. I know it wasn't really somebody that I looked up to when I was a kid. I really admired the FDRs, the Eisenhower, Abraham Lincoln, George Washington. You grow older, you find out some of those people are kind of crazy. But now that I'm older, I think I appreciate Teddy Roosevelt a little bit more. That's somebody who not only worked hard, because working hard isn't necessarily the main thing that makes a good man. It's a big thing. But he also had confidence, had a sense of who he was, what was right, what he stood for. I admire that. Not often you find a man who stands up for what they think is right. Get a lot of yes men. A lot of people who say what they think is the right thing to say for success in life. Grow up and they don't really know who they are. No, it happened to me. I don't mean to say that if that's you and that's something you're having a hard time with. I've been there, my friend. But you don't have to stay there. And Teddy Roosevelt was one of those men. He knew who he was. And he knew what he stood for. And while I'm on the topic, and while we're watching some action here with a little bit of a cap race, looks like the Soviets have a little bit, well, they did have an upper hand with cap weight going back in their favor on Panzer's end. Had a little bit of cap weight on Yamki. They have a garrison over here, so I'm missing a little bit of the action back there. But while I'm on the topic, might as well tell you, maybe this will be my thing. These types of moments with Critic on stream, as it's late at night here. Everyone's in bed in my house. The Soviets clear off the point slightly. Looks like they're in good shape. Little spawn here from a garrison. Imperial takes one down, maybe two. Working with Wally, also taking him down. Gary Benson takes down Wally. Looks like he might go for his buddy Butterfingerer. And Imperial's working hard to try to get this garrison here. Now with one of these late night moments as Imperial takes out the garrison. Helps out his team quite a bit. Really just Gary Benson's down. It appears as though the Soviets may take this point back. We will see. We will see. Nice little battle going on here. Late night moments with Critic though. In the real world, I am not a professional gamer. I work at a hospital. And in my job as in the hospital, I'm not a doctor. I don't make a lot of money. My wife and I live paycheck to paycheck. She's a nurse. I do other things. But I spend a lot of time with people who are dying. I think maybe in the last 7 years, I've probably been with maybe 1,000, at least hundreds of people who have died. Some people who have been shot, car accidents, diseases like cancer, neurological disorders. I've seen a lot of things in just 7 years. And it really makes you think a lot about your own life, you know. I think the thing about the United States is we really keep a lot of death behind closed doors. And I think a lot of the time we think that that's good for us, you know? Like, I don't need to see death. That's just gonna bum me out. That's gonna give me a bad attitude. It's gonna make me, you name it. But there's a lot of cultures that are not like that. There's some cultures who really value, well, not value, really place emphasis on making sure death has meaning. whether it be ceremonies, yearly traditions. But in the United States, we don't get a lot of that. Somebody dies, we have a funeral. It's a hard time. I won't get too much into the details because maybe you're going through a hard time. Maybe you've lost somebody close to you recently. I know when I lost my grandfather, it's tough for me. It's one thing to be around death, it's another thing to lose somebody close to you. But all that being said, where I'm going with all this is, when it comes to death, there's a lot that we can learn about life. When you see another person die, another person who's lived a full life, maybe 70 years, shoot, maybe just 25 years, you start to think about, am I really doing what I think is good for me? Now, I play a lot of video games. Maybe when I was 20, I'd say it's a waste of time, but I certainly don't feel that way now. But all that is to say, as I believe the Romans said, memento mori, remember you must die. So make the most out of your life. Make sure you're having fun. Work hard, of course. Hard work helps you enjoy life. Sometimes it sucks. Work hard. Really try to figure out, who are you? Who am I? What am I doing here? How do I make the most of my short time while I'm here? Because in the end, that's all we have is time. What's on the other side? That's a conversation for another day. But enjoy this stream. Appreciate you all being here with me, even though I'm just rambling here the last 10 minutes. Not the best motivational message you've ever heard, but just want to say to you, you know, there's good things about death. Maybe it isn't so bad. While you're playing these video games right now, make the most of it. While you're watching this stream, make the most of it. And that's all I can really say about that. So we will continue these dog casts every once in a while. Hopefully we'll do one at least once a week, streaming the public server, as we really just hope to showcase our players, our dogs, the people that frequent our server, the people that give to this volunteer community, because nobody here is paid. I'm not paid. None of the staff is paid. Maybe some of the players are because they're really good. I don't know, but I really doubt it. But in the end, we're all just here to make a good community. So if you want to be more involved, check out the link in the bottom right. discord.gg/thedawg division. Join our Discord. Join Dog. We'll have some fun together. Because that's what we're here for anyway. We got Patty Main over here with Lieutenant Soup trying to work their way into the point. But Sergeant James and Nighthawk aren't having it. They hear the gunshots, they're looking, they're searching, they're seeking, they're destroying. But Branflakes avenges Soup with Gator. Doesn't see Nighthawk. Somebody else takes him out. Branflakes and Gator working their way onto the point, trying to show off all the skills they learned in infantry school. Take down with scopes. Takes out Branflakes. That's all none of that. Shows up with his PPSH, or as I used to say when I was a kid, his psh. Seems like the real struggle here for the Soviets at the moment is going to be taking out this P4, driven by racism, being gunned by Pringle Man, Commander Cousin Eddie. No, he's shooting. I don't know, you got the idea. Gator watches a tank go by, marks it for his buddies, Communicates P4, moving west. From Able marker. Looks like we got a little east-west battle going on here. Between the blueberries and the raspberries. A little bit of a scrim back here on Panzer's End. Glory to God. Advisor. Albonia. Doing what they can to defend the point. Let's go check it out. Seeing a little bit more red than blue as cap weight shifts in favor of the red. JPL Auburn Tiger. Going up against Advisor. Looks like JPL knows he's there. I believe a grenade. Yep, by Advisor. Up right there. And it's not enough. It gets gunned down by SFH. Glory to God. Saying a prayer. Hoping for divine intervention here. Doing his best to hold it together with JPL and SFH. Glory to God against the initials. Well, actually, that would be Auburn Tiger. Big wave of blueberries coming in. Looks like I missed some action here. Probably JPL taking out quite a few of them with maybe a grenade. Small arms. Whatever it was. It's pretty gnarly, man. Blueberries being cautious. Not aware that the point's pretty much clear at the moment. The blueberries move into the trenches. And regain a stronghold of Panzer's End. We move over to Yamki. Alright. It's a very interesting movement on the map anyway. Somebody got a nice garrison up over here for the Soviets. Over here we have Ned Ryerson from Case Western High and Patty Main coming off of the garrison. This big wave of blueberries coming in from the southwest towards Yamki. A little bit bunched up. This pizza guy saves Peachy the Pizza Man. Now, Peachy, the Pizza Man, if you've never played with him, he's a good dude. A lot of fun, laid back, good at the game, good guy to have in your squad. The man fellow leads the way with his sergeant's stripes. Squad leader. Working on getting promoted. His advance on Yamki, which we'll hear about in the history books for ages to come. Let's see how he does. Let's give it a watch. That fellow, Zenith, approaching from the west. Moving to Yamki. Allied forces going down on the point. Brandley ahead. Holding the trench. Throwing grenades. Taking fire. Goes down. As we lie in the mud. With the fellow deceased. Man fellow. Hybrid Zenith. Lieutenant Soup. putting their big boy pants on, pushing ahead as there is a cap race. Russians winning the cap race. Manfellow hanging out for dear life in the bush. Patty Main moves up. AT. Maybe he's got some rockets here. He bandages. Continue to hold. Holding. As the cap race continues. Peachy, the pizza man, comes up. Mows him down with this PPSH. Patty Main moving in. Coming for Ash MCG. Takes him down with a PPSH. Clearing the point, clearing house, sweeping in. Nasty over here on the right takes down Peachy, the pizza man. Can Lieutenant Soup avenge his buddy? Maybe. Yep, he avenges him. Comes up to heal him. Look at this teamwork. This squad coming in. Cinematic. Cinematic. Patty Main holds down the fort. Idiot Monkey. Slayer Wiseman. Boss. Never free. And intradermal off the point as the Axis commander frustratingly drops a bombing run on the point, tries to clear off these blueberries here. Looks like he'll probably get 4 or 5, 2, 3, 4, and 1 friendly. Good bombing run, good spawn off the garrison here from the Soviets. From the Axis, that is, holding down the point. However, the Manfellow and his squad continues to lay down hate with their small arms. Gator, Spence, taking care of Tweezy. Another massive spawn wave. So Axis P4 pushes up behind his infantry buddies, hoping to clean up this mess. Spence goes down, Gator goes down. Auburn Tigers pushing up, trying to take care of the pizza man. Continues to weigh heavily upon his trigger. Got a couple pizza guys here. Working hard. Peachy. Makes it out of some gunfire. Looking to put together a meat lover's pizza with the meat on the ground. Some excellent movement between buildings. AT fire coming in on racism and crew. Rockets coming in. Friendly rockets coming in. Although, probably going for Smithy. Idiot Monkey, Send Nodes, and Satan taking on this P4. Looks like only Satan may have the loadout to do anything about it. Bit of a long run, though, with all these infantry out here as well. Farm Boy. Another nice rocket. Doesn't look like he got anybody, but trying to stave off this infantry push from Slayer, Wiseman, and crew. Satan goes down. JPL, Dooley. And it looks like despite the fire, the P4 does the Lord's work to help clear off this point for the Axis team. Spence was getting some rockets into it, goes down. but the Pizza Bros have returned. About 37 minutes remain. And so far, it's mostly been this battle over the middle point between the Axis and the Soviets. There's been some pressure on the next point for the Soviets. As my game lags, I hope I don't crash. We will see, we will see. Alright, lots of lag. Looks like we got it reset here. So far, the Axis have gotten pressure on Panzer's end a bit. Not much pressure from the Soviets on destroyed battery. It's been a lot of strong arming from the Axis. Come close to breaking through a few times, taking advantage of the Russians. But the Russians have they've been able to dial it back in. Regain control, had some nice flanking garrisons. And you can see all that red on Yamki. Let's see what's going on over here. Nice trench exploration. Advisor over here. Searching the fog. Advisor. Takes down Apple Takis. Papa Nichols coming over. Maybe to help out. I'm T-Pain. He goes the long way. T-Pain goes down. Papa Nichols. Maybe able to clear out this trench here with glory to God and Advisor. We'll see. Not sure he's aware of the Russian war machine approaching him. Sounds like he hears the footsteps. Following the footsteps. I mean, he goes down. Taken out by Jesus Christ. Nicely done. Right, this trench battle. It's like skirmishes back and forth, back and forth. Russians pinned down here. Another nice spawn wave off the OP. However, they are getting overwhelmed very quickly by this Axis push. This meat hole. As everybody is blown to bits and a disgusting mess is left behind. Axis doing everything they can with this momentum they have right now. About 2 squads pushing together, moving up, just trying to clear out these Russians who've just been so relentless on Yamki. Take out Satan. Maybe the OP's over here. The big thing they're looking for is the outpost. Trying to take out the spawn point. Not sure there is one. Doesn't look like it. Well, there is this garrison back here. Let's see what naked dude can do on his own. At least he's got his clothes on. As he goes down. Booms Langen's gonna save his buddy Nasty. His allied assault continues on. As they look for the spawn. Where are these Russians coming from? Surprised that there's not another wave coming off of this garrison here. We'll see. Death to airships. Interesting, interesting. We'll see. Yep, they're all looking for the spawn, and somebody has a very nice rocket. Who was that? That was a long way away. Holy moly. JPL with a nice rocket on the garrison to hold off this Russian push from the windmills. JPL fires more arced rockets onto Panzer's end. Pax taking on Twizzy. Takes him down. A little bit of a nervous stalemate here. Who's gonna draw first? Some running and gunning. Octaval Jungle with a triple kill. Probably gonna come up on the side here and take out Pax. Pax giving himself away with those gunshots. There's no idea. The jungle's over here on his left. I mean, how could he know? He's got a whole squad in front of him. He goes down when I am looking at something else. Soup, Manfellow, doing their best. Panzer's in. Being held strongly by the Russian front. Looks like maybe Skipper or I'm T-Pain is working on a flanking garrison. Yamki. Let's see what O Squad with M Buster's doing over at Yamki. Could be the saviors of the whole game right here. With 30 minutes left. Looks like they're aware there's an enemy garrison over here. However, they need to build their own. Looks like they find the enemy garrison, take it down, and they work their way into the back end of Yamki. Do have one infantry looking this way. Second floor, Sergeant Sheba. Shaking with a broom. Doesn't see Skipper, probably hears him. Getting nervous. Skipper is by. Shiva misses. Gets Skipper on that one. Mongo coming up angrily with his machine gun. Boss never free, lays down some fire. Gets Shiva to lay down. Boss never free goes down. Mongo gets the headshot. Well, that's your problem. You're bald. Huh. How do you expect to win a war if you're bald? Spence moves up. So far, this is just turning into some small gun battles. However, I imagine there will be some flooding of the garrisons by the Russians here shortly. Jesus Christ takes down Wrath of Thor, unless it was M. Buster. And some cap pressure is beginning to take effect. Spence looks like he found the garrison. Let's see if he can take it out before a spawn wave comes in. Nicely done by Spence, taking out the garrison while the wheat gnome wipes enemy forces off the map. Looks like maybe just one raspberry coming in here. Sergeant Shiba back up in his perch. Continues to aim down his sights. Looking at Skipper. Takes him out. Trying to aim through the slots. Slots. Roof. Maybe doesn't know he can lean to the left. And then this quick reaction force of the Soviets, of the Axis, rather, approaches over the hill. Dunny, clearing the houses, looking for anything that's not native, anything that's not Axis. And by native, I meant from his team. Don't get upset about that. Dunny looking around. Soviets still coming off of that garrison. Not as much manpower as one might hope on a flanking garrison like that. That being said, there is some pressure coming into Panzer's End from the southwest as well as the north. I'll be a little bit preoccupied back there. Dunny scanning the area, looking for Oswald Mosley. But he gets mowed down by Mr. Ozzy. Not much tank play this match. Actually, there is, just off in the distance. Let's see what this light tank's doing over here. The Luke's coming into Panzer's End. Looking to show off some wrath of speed. Pax watches it go by. The Luke's slows down. Begins to open fire on the blueberries. Good opportunity here for Pax. Get the satchel on. Let's see what he does. Slayer Wiseman may also have a satchel, but he has infantry to his south. Rocket's coming in. Squish may have a satchel as well. Squish takes down some infantry. As he waits, the tank stops. If he has a satchel, this is his chance right here. And he must not have it. Probably saying, hey, you. Getting in blue chat. Wiseman, get over here. Blow this thing up. Pringleman gets out. Maybe Squish takes him down here. Squish, I think, is looking the other direction. Pringleman. Licking his fingers. Got salt on him after eating a whole can. The Lukes making it rain. Some coaxial fire down here. Coaxial, small arms. I don't know, I'm not a tanker, I already told you that. Pax, and Satan. Hoping that somebody, for the love of God, satchels this Luke's. Very, very nice rocket from a long ways away. Who is that? Ned Ryerson from Case Western High. Close rocket. Maybe one more. Ned reloading. Gets it in there, but needs another rocket. Tank's on fire, of course. Slowly, more and more red starting to engulf Cancer's End here. Luke's takes down a supply truck. A lot of infantry around the Lukes. Everybody's paying attention to it. And Ned Ryerson comes back in, finishes the job. Ned Ryerson from Case Western High cashes in, gets himself a nice tank kill. All right. Pressure on Yankee now. Russians working on taking this back. Jerry Curl supporting this offensive push here by his team. However, Axis gets another nice spawn wave off that Gary. They're doing a very nice job with that tonight. Seen several occurrences where it looked like the Russians were going to capture. Next thing you know, 2, 3 Axis squads spawn off the garrison. Nicely done. Nice rocket from, maybe, is that Wally over there? Very nice shot. A lot of really nice rocket shots tonight. Imperial, Soup, Nudes. Soup gets 2. Soup Imperial gets 2. Making away. Seeing what he can see. Dancing around so he doesn't get shot. I do the same thing, my man. Looks like maybe he got SFH, maybe somebody else. Visor. Showing off his PPSH. Imperial goes down. Advisor. Getting some hits on some enemies. Believe he took out Rye Bread there. Not aware that there's enemies all around him. Looks like Jungle's gonna pop him here. Very close, very close. Probably wounded him. Intradermal takes out K-Dog and Sergeant Lifton. It's gonna spawn in and go for a hunt. Advisor wipes the OP, gets Sergeant Lifton. Excellent play. He does go down, however, he takes out the squad and the spawn. Unfortunately, not much of a blue wave to follow that. A little bit, not enough. Intradermal. Still alive, and he gets shoved by Herbert West 85. Seemed to be a home coming in here. Peachy, the pizza man. Paving the way for this blueberry spawn. Oh. Nice proxy satchel. Oh, I mean, if that was an Axis proxy satchel, that was very well placed. Something tells me maybe it wasn't. Peachy and Wheat Gnome moving up. Wheat Gnome goes down. Nighthawk. And Peachy also goes down from the double kill from Nighthawk. Top for D, Wally, Advisor, or Main. There's more blueberries flood in from behind. With about 13 minutes left. The Russians here. Remember, it takes about 2 minutes to capture a point. So the Russians desperately need to get in here. 11 minutes is a long time, but they need to begin capturing by 11 minutes. By 2 minutes, which is 11 minutes from now. They hope to win this game. Herbert West has had enough of these guys in here. Comes in, however, looks like Advisor gets shot from the front. Top for D. Making use of the leg glitch. Herbert West is hunting. hears him. He knows he's there. Looking. Is that a grenade? Very nice grenade if it was. I don't think it was. Okay, no grenade, no grenade. Top for D, maybe just waiting on his buddies to catch up. However, that may be the end of that push there. Nighthawk. He's had enough of this, man. Coming in. Grenades coming down. As they blow top 4D to bits, who is also bald. That's not going to win you any wars, my friend. It's the Axis. Strongly hold this point. Working on some pressure on Panzer's end. To the northeast, a bit of a spawn wave of blueberries. Getting engulfed here. Axis making a push. Coming in from the east. Into Panzer's end. Taking the trenches. Knocking out Jet Ecker to squad lead. JPL, Itchy Bow. And Tundra. JPL. Itchy. Take out Zenith and the Wheat Gnome. Find the garrison. And destroy the garrison. With a great deal of vigor. Looks like that may be all she wrote on this point for the blueberries. No, ooh, it's a big push coming over here. Contesting the point here. Tundra sees it. Flare going. Meat Mountain coming in. Oh. I don't know who that was, but somebody's body went flying overhead. JPL says it's my mind. It's coming for Bonia. Takes Bonia down. Coming for Zenith. Roosevelt. And one of the three takes down JPL. They don't see Tundra. Tundra gets one. Shadow. Returns the favor. Gets a double kill. Works his way to the point. Many red dots beginning to take shape on Panzer's end here. With this Russian push, J and Troll 420 look to see what they can do. However, it looks like that might be a Panzer IV in the distance. And that's going to be all she wrote. Well, brutal. Teddy Roosevelt riding in on his horse, trying to save the day, but it's not going to be enough. And unless there is some kind of unexpected turn of events, looks like the Axis are probably going to come away with the dub on this match. Remember, 2 minutes to capture a point. The Allies need 2 points. That's 4 minutes. Got about 3.5 minutes for any hope. As Teddy Roosevelt gets rocketed, blown to bits by killer JJMK. Allies, the Axis, enjoy a nice, fresh Panzer on the point. He's just gonna clean up the mess to make sure everybody knows he's here to stay. Major Payne looks like he's the lone survivor of this push. As you can see all those Axis forces coming across the field like a bunch of ants. Major Payne. Let's see what he can do. Looks like gives his battle cry. Takes out 3. It's like Major Payne takes out 3 before he goes down due to the gunfire of Methan around. Solid control of Panzer's End by the Axis. 1 minute, 5 seconds left before this match is officially decided. I use Zen, clearing the trenches, showing he ain't scared. Going after Sphere. Advisor doesn't quite get the job. There might be an airhead coming in with that. Does not appear that is the case. Doesn't look like there's enough manpower to do so anyway. PG goes down. Tundra takes out Advisor. Double R almost eats a rocket for dinner. Sees what he can do as he scans. Laser vision. And he gets blown to bits. Scanning. Look at this overwhelming push by the Axis. Not stopping. Not even using the cover. Just jumping out of the trench. Advancing. Looking for Babe. Long. I don't know what that means. Oh. Looks like maybe that was a friendly rocket. 3 minutes left. Looks like the Allies are going to lose this match to the Axis. We had a nice push there on both sides for Yamki. Both sides held the point throughout the match. The Axis and their very well-placed garrisons able to hang on. Bonia, Wiseman, just trying to clean up the mess that's coming for him. It looks like the Axis probably were wanting to 5-0 to end the game, but they are out of time. So nicely done by the Axis team here as we celebrate their victory and give them one of the sound bites that I've been wanting to use all night. Yay! Good job. Well, thank you all for tuning into DAWG. I am Critic. I am a dog. And this is something that we will be doing either weekly, maybe twice a week. I don't know. Just having some fun with it. Showing off the public match. The public lobby, I should say. As tonight we streamed our DAWG Pile. And our dogs, some of them really put on a nice show tonight. So, excellent job to the dog division. Thank you to all of the players who play in the dog server who are not in DAWG. We appreciate it. Many friendly, frequent faces. You know who you are. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for making some highlights. Thanks for enjoying the server. And I hope that you all have a wonderful evening. A wonderful rest of the week. And may something fun that's very unexpected happen to you tomorrow. We shall see. All right. You all have a good night.